Sarah Palin is receiving some blowback in the wake of her video statement released yesterday when she invoked the term blood libel to describe her treatment from the media, a term that's led to millions of Jewish deaths around the world. Many groups have now come forward condemning Palin's choice of words, including the National Jewish Democratic Council, the pro-Israel lobby group known as J Street, the Jewish Funds for Justice, and the Anti-Defamation League. So what exactly was she trying to accomplish with her statement? Here to offer his take on Sarah Palin's message and the broader issues surrounding the Tucson tragedy is Curtis Sliwa, radio talk show host and founder and CEO of the Guardian Angels. Curtis, welcome to the program.
Well, my pleasure, Tom. And I didn't know anybody owns words and terms. Please enlighten me that blood libel or Holocaust affects solely just Jewish people. I never knew that.
Well, Holocaust is a term that has been used to describe a lot of murders over the years. I think blood libel actually is a phrase that by and large was created and was promoted. If you're familiar with Julius Streicher and his trial, the Nuremberg trial, he was the guy who published Der Sturm, the Nazi newspaper in 1934 and throughout the whole reign of the Nazis. And he was the guy who, on cover after cover after cover, had pictures of Jews bleeding, young Christian children, and promoted this term blood libel, which led right to the Holocaust. Why do you think that Sarah Palin used that phrase?
Well, first off, I have no problem in her using the phrase. She was using it to compare what was taking place with her. Here it is. She was minding her own business, doing her reality show. I don't know if she was shooting caribou or moose or skinning them or wrestling salmon out of the arms of the big Goliath brown bears in Alaska. But she wasn't doing jack diddly squat anything, and then all of a sudden, what, Sheriff Doomkopf, whatever his name in Pima County, decided he was going to do commentary instead of play Sergeant Joe Friday, just the facts, and all of a sudden, everyone, it almost as if we could describe Sarah Palin at that point in terms of her credit, saying she was involved as an agent provocateur, as if she caused this crackpot, this screwball to go out and commit this heinous act, when in fact we've learned since he didn't watch TV, he didn't listen to talk radio, he was a man of no consequence.
Well, actually,
she was right.
We've learned none of those things, Curtis, and you know that.
Please.
So are you suggesting that the real victim here is Sarah Palin?
Well, why Sarah Palin? What did Sarah Palin do to trigger this off? Using martial terms,
Sarah Palin
terms?
put crosshairs on this woman's district, and this woman went on national television and said, there are consequences to that. I'm very uncomfortable with that. And Sarah Palin did not pull back those crosshairs or change them to anything else. Sarah Palin said, don't retreat, reload. I mean, and if you really want to, well, leave it at that. I mean, Sarah Palin certainly has been using the language of gun violence throughout to gain political advantage.
In the words of Sean Connery, who said, "Oh, you think I'm going to bring a knife to a knife fight or bring a gun?" The President of the United States quoted Sean Connery. Come on, Tom, in the heat of a political battle, people are using militaristic martial terms. They don't mean it. And by the way, we've yet to hear one drop of evidence that this guy even knew what Sarah Palin stood for, that she had used that rhetoric. Absolutely nothing. So we should eliminate the Sarah Palin card out of the deck. But some people just love to hate Sarah Palin their entire life.
Curtis, I'm not suggesting that Sarah Palin had anything to do with this. Curtis, you can just short-circuit that. I'm not here to suggest that Sarah Palin did. What I am suggesting is that this guy decided, and I'm sure you've probably seen it on his YouTube video, said that you can't trust government, that big government is a terrible thing, and he took out his government official. So, whether it's Sarah Palin or anybody else, who are the people who are saying you can't trust government?
Tom, I don't trust government. What all of a sudden? You're going to think all the furniture is upstairs and rearranged in my wrong rooms? I don't trust the Democrats. I don't trust the Republicans. In America, the people don't get to lie because you perjure yourself, you go to jail. In America, our presidents, Democrats and Republicans, look right into this camera and lie, and they get away with it. And you know that, Tom.
Yeah, I do, Curtis, and I'll agree with you on that point. What role think back to 1980, and I'm guessing you're probably familiar with this history. After Ronald Reagan was nominated for President of the United States, his first speech was in Philadelphia, Mississippi, a little town of 6,000 people that has no consequence at all except that 3 civil rights workers were murdered there, and he gave a speech on states' rights. It was his call to all the racists. How is that different from Sarah Palin's call to the Stormfront org and the militia movements in using the phrase blood libel?
Oh, please, come on. Boy, is that a stretch. First off, it was wrong for Ronald Reagan to use that as a staging area. Sarah Palin was not using anything other than to identify herself as a victim who had absolutely nothing to do with the motivation of this madman, saying, in essence, just like Jews had nothing at all to do with what problems others had in the Gentile community, that in essence, she was being victimized in somewhat of a similar capacity. It's a metaphor. She uses metaphors. I use metaphors. You use metaphors.
Okay, so
you don't go to jail for using a metaphor. You don't get indicted in the United States for using metaphors.
So she's the Jews, and the media is the I'm missing the metaphor here.
Well, the metaphor is that you use phraseology, you use suggestive language, but it doesn't necessarily mean it applies to what you're saying. For instance, when we say we're going to crush the enemy, Democrats, let's go out and crush the Republicans. We're going to drive them out of every district. Now, does that mean I'm going to all of a sudden start taking an AK-47, mow them down? It's in the heat of battle, rhetorical battle.
Okay, Curtis, one-word question. If you don't, Curtis, we're out of time here. One-word question. I'm just genuinely curious. Who's your favorite Republican for 2012?
Oh, Rudy Giuliani. I love my Dico Marichich. I hope Rudy Giuliani runs for the presidency of the United States.
Curtis, thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Great having you.